What's going down, everybody? So today I'm bringing you guys a quick review of my boy Miles G. Morales. Yes, that is Miles G. Morales from Across the Spider-Verse. And if you've seen the movie, then you know exactly who he is. So let's get into this review. So for anybody who has not seen the movie, I'm telling you right now, this review is going to have some spoilers in it because I'm going to be talking about some stuff that if you didn't see the movie, it might spoil it for you. But by now, you've probably seen it if you're looking at this review. So this figure here is pretty dope. It is he's very skinny little guy. I mean, but Miles is skinny anyway. But this figure came out really good. The way they did it and everything, the way Marvel actually Hasbro actually did the figure, they made it really good. They got the braids and everything looking pretty tight. It's a good looking figure, definitely. He's on the skinny and small side, but it still looks pretty dope. So let's get into the box that they sent it with. So this one came with one of those these I forgot what the card back boxes, which came like this. You got the other people on the back. You got Miles. Wait, let me move my camera up. As you can see here, you have Miles Morales. You got Spider Gwen. You got who's this here? You got Spider Man 2099, Spider Punk, Peter Parker, Miles G Morales, and Pivotar Pre-Bakar. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. But that's the back of the box. It's not so much. It's just one of the card back boxes though. But it's pretty cool. Now, as for the accessories, it is a Hasbro Marvel toy, Marvel Legend, whatever. They don't come with much. So he comes with two fists. Well, one fist is actually a closed fist. The other one is like a holding fist. I didn't even take it off the wrapper. And he comes with a second head. So he has another head here, which is, if I can get it to focus, yeah. So he has the other head, which is the Prowler head, which looks pretty. They did it pretty well. It looks pretty dope. I think it came out good. Got the braids and everything sticking out the back. It came out pretty good if I can get it to focus correctly. Yep, it's pretty all right. They did pretty good with it. So now let's get into the actual figure itself. Told you this one's gonna be a quick one. So as you can see here, Miles looks amazing. Like I said already, those paint apps and everything they did on him, the claws, down to the sneakers, it all looks pretty dope. Definitely pretty dope there. So let's get into articulation. So for his articulation, his head can move side to side, of course. That's the side to side movement. He looks down about that much. So the down is about that much. And he looks back a whole lot. He can look up a lot. So that's pretty cool. So for any of those joints where you want to have him like crouching down and like looking like kind of like Spider-Man, he looks down a whole lot. I mean, I'm sorry, he looks up a whole lot. Now, as for the arms, your boy can get the T-pose about that, little over a T-pose. So you see there's a little over the T-pose. And he doesn't have any butterfly joints. There are no butterflies on this, which is a little disappointing. They could have put a butterfly joint on there. I mean, I don't know why they didn't, but choices and money and stuff like that. Plus, it's a really small figure. When you put the arm down like this, there is a little gap right there, but it's not too bad. The arm goes 90. It is not double jointed, but the 90 is pretty good. It's not terrible. It does go 90 like that. It's not bad. The wrist he does not have bicep spin, but the wrist the arm can kind of twist. So it twists at the elbow. Yes, that is very strange, but it allows you to do this. So you can do this back and forth movement here. And as for the wrist, of course can twist, and it has the horizontal. I think it's the horizontal peg for the hand. I think that's what you would call it. That would be horizontal. And of course, it can go all the way around like this. Excuse me. Now, as for his chest, we have, hold on, let me get that focus correct. Now, as for the stomach crunch, he can crunch. He has that weird crunch. It's not in the 2-ball crunch thing. He has that crunch where he can go about this far down. So that is hella far. He can go hella far down with the crunch forward. It looks a little weird in the back, but hopefully if you're doing that, you're doing it from this way and it's not so strange. Which gets him where he can go into stuff like this. So that's pretty cool that he can ball up like that with his crunch. So with the crunch, excuse me again, with the crunch, he can pretty much get really tucked. Let's get it tucked as far as I can go. Yep, he can do a pretty good crunch. Now let's see how he goes with the backwards. He goes back about that far. So if he's doing that that Miles Morales fall thing, he can do it too. All right. Now as for the spin, he has a torso spin right here. It does not spin at the top. At the excuse me again. Sorry, doesn't spin at the top. But for legs, his legs can go up about that far. Very skinny legs. They go up about that far. They go out about that far. He can almost do the splits. He has a thigh swivel at the top. His knees are double jointed. Knees are double jointed. And he's fully pinless. He's pinless all over. And the ankle gets that it gets a rock like that back and forth. It can go forward down about that much. It can come up about that much. So the ankle, his ankle is pretty okay. It's not bad. But I love the head movement. The head movement is pretty good. That being able to do this and crunch forward and like get into one of these like that. And like let's say he got the crunch forward like this and his hands are like that and your boy is kind of trying to get into full Prowler mode and look upward or something like that. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks a little crazy, but you know what I mean. It looks cool. Oh, one of his other accessories, which I forgot to mention, is his backpack. He did come with the backpack. So that is, in a nutshell, that's the figure's articulation. So now let's go into size comparison. Now, as for size comparison, he stands from the bottom of his feet, whoops, wrong side, to the top of his head. That is about close to 6 inches. I can't tell. It's about 6 and 3, about 5 3/4. About 5 3/4. He's not the tallest fella, but he's not supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be like a kid, so doesn't really matter. He doesn't have to be that tall. But let's see how he sizes up next to Miles Morales from the first Spider-Man movie. I forgot what the movie was called. It's wasn't Across the Spider-Verse, but I forgot what it was called. But he stands up next to him about that tall. He's a little bit taller. And then let's get him next to Gwen. Yeah, my son Tyler. What was the name of the first movie? Into the Spider-Verse. So it's that Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse. And then we have Gwen from Across the Spider-Verse. and Gwen stands up. Gwen looks bigger than him for some reason. Like her head looks huge. So if I can get her to stand up straight, stands up next to her. She's about, they're about around the same size. Not too much. He's not too much taller than her or smaller. I mean, he's not too much smaller than her. But I love these braids, man. The way they did the braids just looks so dope. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Yeah, the way they did those just looks dope. Look at that. That's so dope. So yeah, he's pretty much comparable to their height. Now, let's get him with some other characters. So here he is, unfocused. Let's widen that up a little bit. Get him focused in there. Okay. Here he is standing next to a McFarlane Scorpion. So McFarlane figures run about 7 inches. So he's around. He's looking kind of miniature next to him. So yeah, that's him next to a McFarlane figure. And here he is next to a NECA Ninja Turtle, which they are about the same size. Not too far off. They're about the same size. Not too different at all. Let's get him next to a Storm Collectibles Yujiro Hanma, which is enormous. He looks like a dwarf next to him. It is crazy. So that's if you have Storm Collectible figures. That's how he looks next to that one. He looks ridiculous. And I would stand him up next to, you know what? Freak it. Here he is next to the I can't even fit on the screen big ass Cassos Minotaur that I did the review on the other day. So that he's just huge. He's just a huge character. Let's get him standing next to a SH Figure Arts, which they scale kinda the same. They're not too far off. Yeah, the SH Figure Arts they're around the same. Their heads might be a little bit bigger, but they pretty much run around the same. And let's get them standing next to a, last but not least, Jada Toys Shadow. So Shadow is short, but Shadow has a ginormous head. A ginormous head. It is crazy. So yeah, that's my size comparisons. And now we'll get into last thoughts. So as for last thoughts, I really like the figure. I think they did a great job with it. They made him skinny just like he looks in the movie. I think he looks really cool. And because he had such a short part in the movie so far, I don't know how much of a part he's going to have in the next one, but he had such a short part in the movie, but he made an impression and he looks dope. They actually did it really well. The figure came out well. The skin tones, the hair, everything just looks pretty dope on the figure. It's very much a pretty dope figure for a, spoiler alert, so far antagonist. We don't know if he's gonna stay an antagonist or a villain or whatever, but he was pretty cool in the movie. So yet again, I thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe and leave a comment, whatever you want to talk about, and that's about it. I'll see you in the next one, and enjoy these photos. Peace.